The Corporate Transparency Act and real estate investors. I've been a real estate investor a long time. If you are involved in real estate investing or you want to become involved with it, you're going to need to know how this law is going to affect you because it is a game changer and not in a good way. Before I dive into this, I want to let you know that I am not a legal or tax advisor. I don't give tax, legal, or accounting advice. This material has been prepared for informational purposes only and is not intended to provide and should not be relied upon for tax, legal, or accounting advice. You should consult your own tax, legal, and accounting advisors before engaging in any transaction. So, my name is Don Thornton. I'm known as Don the Short Sale Guy because I flipped over 3,500 houses in my real estate investing career, all of them foreclosures, mostly short sales. My company has had an A plus rating with the Better Business Bureau since 2004. All those houses, not a single complaint because I always operate in a reputable manner. And I'm trustee of a trust that saves me a lot of money and protects my assets. So, what is the Corporate Transparency Act? In short, it is a new federal database that is going to require mandatory reporting. So if you have an LLC, S Corp, holding company, shell company, or any combination of those, you're going to have to report as of January 1st, 2024, when this law comes into power, all your assets, any company ownership, even if it's 25% or more, in other companies or other opportunities, you have to report that. This law is specifically targeting entrepreneurs and investors. And we're real estate investors, right? Like anything else, the government always tries to, wave the terrorism flag or money laundering or drug trafficking every time a new law is passed that ultimately is designed to take away our privacy and get more of our money, right? So I just want to, recall your memory. A lot of talk the last year or so about these 85,000 new IRS agents being hired. Remember that they've added billions of dollars to the IRS budget. They are they have been upgrading and creating new AI capabilities for the IRS. And the only thing they were missing to really get to know us way too well was an all encompassing database to gather all of our information. I mean, all. And they needed a law to compel us to give up our personal and corporate anonymity, which would allow them, of course, to squeeze us and have us pay more to the government. And the law that ties all of this together is the Corporate Transparency Act. Well, let's talk about who's exempt. So, if you're involved and your organization makes over $5 million in gross receipts, if it has 20 plus full time US based employees, if you have a physical office in the United States, then you are exempt. And the law specifically exempts also defense contractors, any financial institutions, and of course, by means of their receipts, any Fortune 500 companies are also exempt, and W-2 employees. I guess they feel like W-2 employees are squeezed about as much as they can be squeezed, so they let them alone. Okay, just a note: you have to be compliant with all of these requirements. In other words, if you have over 5 million in gross receipts, but you only have 18 U.S. based employees full time. Nope, that doesn't. You're not in compliance. Or if you're all work from home, you don't have a physical address. Boom, you have to comply. All right. So you're also going to be required to obtain a new federal number. Right now, you have to open up a bank account or maintain a bank account, you have to have an EIN number. Well, there's a new number that's going to have to be obtained, and it's called a FinCEN number. And they may, by the time you watch this, maybe things have changed, but the idea is the same. There's going to be a new federal number that you're going to have to open or maintain an existing financial account. So you go in there with a corporate resolution, your EIN number, and now you have to have a FinCEN number. If you don't have that, then they're going to tell you, they're not going to tell you, they're going to close your account down if you don't have one. Or if you're a new account, they won't let you order, they won't let you open it until you get a new FinCEN number. And there is a staggering, I mean, a staggering amount of personal and private information that has to be disclosed to this new database. Your driver's license number, your passport numbers, you have to provide them with scanned copies of them. Your personal residential address, your date of birth, your social security number, and your email addresses, your phone numbers, and the same thing, numbers and pictures of any other identification cards that you may have. On your business side, you have to provide the legal name, any trademarks, any copyrights, any DBAs, any business registrations, any tax ID numbers, and all identifying information on the beneficial owners of the company. And this is not just a one time thing. You're going to have to constantly update your info, constantly. Every time you change your address, you move, any kind of change of ownership, you're going to have to inform the federal government of your new address, right? It's not like just updating your driver's license. Every single time, you have to let them know exactly where you live. And by the way, there are stiff penalties for noncompliance if you think, no big deal, I'll just blow it off. All right. It's 500 to 1,500 daily fine, maximum $10,000 in fines, and 2 years prison per violation, by the way. That's just not a one shot deal. So, welcome to the new reality. The IRS is now going to have a 100% picture of all your assets, all your income streams, all of your investments. Because remember, I talked about AI. They've upgraded AI's capability in the IRS system. Now the feds will be able to coordinate and analyze all your finances, your assets, your income, et cetera, with simply a simple push of a button. IRS AI will analyze all your info and decide if you're a suspect, right? Also, in this law, the financial institutions will be the Fed's eyes and ears to find out, what's going on. So if they see any quote unquote suspicious activity, then they are required to lock down the account, call the FBI, and then an investigation is started. And if they find anything wrong, they will they will seize your business, they will seize your personal property. You're on the street, and let's face it, there's no money to fight the federal government. And oh, by the way, just so you know, only 1% of funds or and assets that are seized by the federal government are ever returned. Well, a lot of you have said, well, you know what? I always operate within laws, so I should be okay. Well, nobody's 100% clean no matter how hard you try. When they start going through your business with a fine tooth comb, one oversight, one missing disclosure, one mistake on a reporting form, if you inadvertently hired an undocumented employee in the past and they find out about it, it gives them the justification to shut it all down. That's just crazy, right? Well, how does this affect us real estate investors? Well, the Corporate Transparency Act is going to nuke most asset protection strategies, especially using LLCs. Even the so called anonymous LLCs that are so popular with a lot of investors in Wyoming, any shell companies, anonymous, Delaware, Nevada LLCs, any holding companies, shell companies. If you're holding any real estate in any entity, you're going to have to report it to the new Corporate Transparency Act federal database. Again, anything, LLCs, S Corp, C Corps, living trust, family trust, you're going to have to do it. If you have it there, you're going to have to do it. So basically, that means no more anonymity. The feds will know exactly what you have, how much you make, and how everything connects. They can now connect the dots. They were hindered before because they really could only go about what you filed on your taxes. They weren't totally sure how everything flowed, how everything worked together. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. Everything is going to connect. And you know what the end result's going to be, don't you? Whenever they connect all the dots, they see exactly what you have, how much you're earning, what your assets are. They're going to squeeze you, and the ultimate result is you're going to pay more in taxes, 100%. Looks pretty big. It sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? I tell you, I mean, when I first heard about this law, I was freaking out. But I do have a question for you. It's a very simple question, and I want you to ponder this and think about it seriously. Why in the world would you voluntarily comply with this outrageous law if you knew there was a legal way to avoid it? What if I told you there was a loophole? Our real estate investing clients, including myself, by the way, we run our businesses, we protect our assets, and we protect our anonymity. We get major tax reductions and we shield our assets from lawsuits. Okay. And it just so happens that the strategy that I use and have used for a while now is it protects me from having to comply with the Corporate Transparency Act. I don't have to give the feds all this information. I don't have to voluntarily put myself on their radar. I don't have to, say, "Hey, shine your spotlight right here. Here's everything I have." Like playing poker with the cards facing, the other players, so they know exactly what's in your hand. I don't have to do that. Okay. My question to you is, are you ready to learn how? Because the time to act is now. I have the solution. You can get the anonymity you want in your real estate investing. You can reduce your taxes. You can keep all that information privileged away from that database, which is poison for us. But you have to take action. You need to schedule a time for a one-on-one consultation, and we can go over your unique situation. I will map out to you exactly how this will work and how you can get the goal of keeping everything anonymous and shielding your assets and most of your money away from the federal government. And it's right here. All you have to do is schedule a call with me on calendly.com/Don Thornton/30 minutes. That's CALENDLY.com/Don Thornton, spelled DOHNTHORNTON/30 minutes, 30 MIN. I encourage you. I'm not even begging you. I'm just strongly encouraging you. How about that? To tell you to take action, at least find out more about it, at least see how we can help you and how we can keep you shielded from this. And it's a free phone call, 30-minute phone call. What's it going to, or a Zoom, and it'll be worth your while. But I want to thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening to this. I look forward to being your Sherpa, your guide to what we all want. Like I said, more anonymity, less taxes, away from the federal radar. And it's all here. Just take action. Thank you.